What's going on, guys? Hope you've been feeling spirit lately. Last year I made a video about instinctive archery and kind of went over how to get started into it and really what it was, and that was feeling the point of the bow like I'm pointing my finger or pointing my knuckle at the target as I draw and release. But there's more to it, so I'm going to kind of go over what that is in this video. So to explain instinctive archery, this is how I'm going to put it, and I'm going to try to put it in the simplest form that I can to help people kind of understand it and grasp it, because there's so much debate on what instinctive archery is. A lot of people say that instinctive archery doesn't exist, it's intuitive. However, if you look up the definition for instinctive, intuitive is in the definition. It's a synonym. So there's that. By calling it intuitive archery, it's just saying it's instinctive archery with a different word. You can call it whatever you like. However, this video is about what it is. So, your instinct is your subconscious. You could call it subconscious archery if you like. To shoot subconscious archery or instinctive archery or intuitive archery, you need to be completely subconscious throughout your shot. To be completely subconscious, you cannot be consciously aware of your arrow tip, your form, your release, nothing. Everything has to be left to your instinct. Your only focus should be on the minute dot that you want to hit. The dot within the dot within the dot. There's a saying that I always tell myself when I start shooting bad to kind of fix that, is if I can tell that it's a lack of focus, I will tell myself there's always a dot. And then in that, I will be able to find a dot within the dot and be able to shoot. You're imagining it. You're almost imagining yourself zooming into like it's almost like you're mentally zooming in to the atom you want to hit, to the one molecule you want to cut with that arrow. And you're imagining it, but you can envision that in your sight and put a dot in the dot. There's always something to see. Whenever I shoot at a 3D target, a lot of times I envision the heart and the lungs, and then envision a dot in those heart and lungs. It's just, there's always a dot. That being said, to be able to do that, your focus has to be 100% on what you're shooting at. If your focus is drifting, you're shooting split vision. If you can be consciously aware of where you're aiming, you're shooting split vision. A lot of instinctive shooters actually shoot split vision because they're not 100% giving the shot up to their subconscious. They are consciously aware of where the area of where the arrow tip is. They might not be aiming, but they're conscious of where that is. They are aiming to an extent. It's not like a spot on, I'm putting the arrow tip right here at the bottom right hand of this corner or the target, or I'm not putting the arrow tip 6 inches below the target. No, you just know somewhat of the area that it's in, so you're consciously aware of the shot or where you're aiming. So it's split vision, it's in the middle of instinctive and aiming. For me, I have no idea where the tip of that arrow was. Like, as soon as that arrow leaves, I have no idea where it was. All I know is that I felt like my hand was pointed in the right spot. That's all I can tell you. It felt right. And over time, as you begin to shoot and shoot, a lot of times you have to start with split vision and transition into instinctive. Because when you first pick up a bow and shoot, you're going to be conscious of where that arrow tip's aiming. Because if you don't, you don't have a feel for it yet. So you might be pointed up in these trees over here. And once you bring the bow down here, you're not going to have the feeling that you're in the right spot. You'll be in the general area, but you're not going to have that feel that you're in the perfect spot. A lot of the times, people, before you can fully give it up to your subconscious, you have to be able to consciously shoot. So a lot of people shoot split vision before they shoot instinctive. So what instinctive is you have to give it up to your subconscious. You have to let your subconscious make all the decisions. You have to be familiar with your anchor, familiar with your hand position, bow grip, hook, everything, and you have to give it up to your subconscious and let it do what it wants to do. The only thing that's consciously in your mind is envisioning where that arrow is going to go whenever I let it go. So when I draw back, the only thing I'm thinking of is, okay, there's my dot. That's where I want to hit. The bow comes back, I come down into, as I'm always high and right. Every time I draw back, the bow's always high and right, because by the time I point the bow at the target and then draw with my back and set into my shot, it typically brings me high and right, and I know that I'm high and right. Without even, I could close my eyes and tell you that I drifted high and right, because it's my subconscious that's telling me that, not my conscious brain. I'm not consciously aware of where the arrow tip is pointing. So, subconsciously, I know that I'm high and right. So what I do is I expand through the shot like an aimer would, or somebody who typically aims. However, I don't establish my aim and then expand. I expand into my aim. And a lot of the time, since I'm high and right, after I keep expanding in my shoulder blade and my rear delt here, my shoulder gets pushed down like this, it aligns my shot back into its original state, which was right on target. As soon as I feel like I've reached that perfect ultimatum to where I'm right on the target, my subconscious lets it go. I don't even send the signal from my conscious brain to my fingers. My subconscious brain sends the signal to my fingers to let go of that string before I can consciously think I'm on target. However, most of the time I can tell whether it's a good shot before I let it go, or I can tell whether it's a good shot before I let it go, depending on, something didn't feel right. And then I can sit here and analyze it in my head until I'm like, okay, this is what wasn't right. But as soon as that shot lets go, because my subconscious is quicker than my conscious, I let go of the string, and then I'm like, oh, my conscious brain picks up, and it was like, oh, you were slightly off and left, or you were slightly off right, or you jerked your bow hand out of the way, whatever. It's all your subconscious sending all your signals down to your body, telling it what to do. I don't consciously, the last thing I do consciously is draw. And I feel my anchor, but I don't consciously feel my anchor. Again, it's my subconscious. I give the shot up to my subconscious. I feel the anchor come into place. And if my anchor is off, I don't even think about fixing it. I just automatically do it, because it's my subconscious making that decision and not my conscious brain making that decision. So I'm gonna shoot a shot right here real quick to kind of show you what I'm talking about. But right there's the target. So as I stand here getting ready to shoot, I'm in my conscious brain. I grab the bow, I hook the string. Again, that's subconscious. I've done it so many times that my brain just automatically knows that before I shoot, my ritual is, and my shooting process is, that I keep the bow down and my fingers come up and meet the string. So then I look at the target. Again, subconsciously, I just immediately pick my spot. And there's a hole from a previous arrow in the middle of that middle dot. So I just automatically lock onto it. So then, as soon as I get locked onto it, I bring the bow up. Again, it's subconscious. I've done it so many times that my brain knows what to do and when to do it. And then I consciously make this decision to draw. I come in, find my anchor, it's right. I bounce my arm down to where it's in there. And again, a lot of the times it might look like I'm dropping my arm, and I used to drop my arm, but now I control that drop, because since I'm high and right, I'm essentially bouncing, because again, I'm fighting a heavier pound bow and I haven't shot for a while, so I'm kind of building back those strength and those small muscles that you use whenever you do shoot a bow. So I'm kind of building those back, so I'm fighting it a little bit more here recently. But as time goes on, I won't have to do that as much. By the time season gets here, deer season gets here, I'll be stronger in those muscles, and it won't take as much effort to make a shot. In that shot, or in that moment after I have everything, all I'm doing is looking at that dot. And my subconscious tells me to expand, when to expand, because everything felt right before my form feels right. So then my subconscious, before my conscious can even pick it up, I know to start expanding that bow down to target. Now I'm fighting it, but I haven't felt that I'm on target yet. And as soon as I get to the point to where I fight the bow back down and push it and expand through it, and I feel like I'm in position, again, before I know that I let go of my fingers, my subconscious already did it. Most of the time, I know I made a bad shot because I consciously made the decision to. And that's when I pluck the shot, or I pluck the string. So again, I'm shooting another one. Again, I knocked that arrow on the string. I grabbed the hook and set my bow arm right here and stood at my typical stance. subconsciously. I've done it so many times, I don't have to think about it. It just happens. I hook the string, raise the bow up, and now I make the conscious decision to draw. And I almost cut the other arrow. That's the best way I have to explain it is, you know, I don't even know when my fingers are going to release. My subconscious tells me when to do it, and my body just does it because my subconscious is quicker than my conscious. By the time I realize that I'm on target, my fingers have already went, and that string has went and sent that arrow into the target. I'll shoot one more time just to kind of give one more demonstration of what I'm doing, and then I'll wrap up the video. So again, everything from this point on is subconscious other than to draw. I decide when I want to draw. Right there with the other arrows. Instinctive archery is not about just not knowing where your arrow tip is. It's about your whole process being subconscious and being subconscious driven. If you shoot a clicker or anything like that, you have to consciously make that decision to go into your clicker. You're not shooting instinctive. You have switched over to split vision or gap. Most people I know, I've known people that said they shot instinctive, but they shoot gap. They shoot with a clicker or whatever, and they claim that they shoot instinctive, but again, they're consciously making the decisions throughout their shot. They're focused on where their arrow tip is, and that's how they know when to go into their clicker, expand into their clicker, or you know, if you've got the grip trigger. I don't know how those really work other than you roll your hand down, but I don't know if you expand through it or what you really do with those. But if you have a clicker on your bow and you're trying to shoot instinctive, you can't, because you have to consciously make that decision to go into your clicker. Other than that, I mean, that's the best I can explain it. You know, you have to completely let your subconscious take over. You have to trust your own mind to make that shot for you. When I'm shooting at a moving target, and I'll kind of snap shoot, and I'll even shoot split finger, just to show you, you know, it is instinctive. So I'll shoot a split finger just snapshot, because I can shoot that way. I shoot moving targets that way. I don't have time to set in and figure out, you know, feel my anchor and then get my, you know, let my subconscious take over and bring the bow to the target and let go for me. I have to consciously make that decision to draw. A lot of the times when something's moving or somebody throws something across in front of me, I don't make the conscious decision to draw. That's full on instinctive. You know, if you really want to know what instinctive means, just let someone roll something or roll something out in front of you, throw it up in the air and try to shoot at it. You don't have time to think about what to do, you just have to do it. So especially if you throw something up in the air, because it's going to hit the ground. So you have to throw it up in the air, grab your bow, and make that shot like that. You don't have time to think about it. You don't have time to make decisions. You just have to do it. So a lot of the times when somebody rolls something on the ground or something, and I'm shooting at it on the ground, or say a rabbit takes off running, you know, it don't matter if I'm split finger, if I'm 3 under. Most time I shoot 3 under, but you know, it don't matter if I'm split finger or 3 under. When that's rolling across in front of me, I don't think about it. I'm just looking at what I want to hit, and then I bring the bow back to about right here. I don't even come to my face. I just bring the bow back to about right here and let go. Say there was a deer running in front of me, and again, I probably wouldn't shoot at a deer running, but if there was a deer running in front of me, I'd probably do the same thing. I would probably look, it'd have to be 5 yards. But if it come running in front of me, I would just wait till it got in front of me and I met it with my timing, and then that would be it. It wouldn't be no thinking involved. It would have just been done. So I'll shoot a little snapshot just to kind of show you. Now it's just right below the dot. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but I'm just right below the dot. No, I'm not with my other arrows, but doing something completely different. That is what instinctive is. If you really want to know what instinctive is and know exactly, like if you want to know exactly what instinctive is, go out there and throw something up in the air, roll something across the ground and try to shoot it as quick as you can. You will realize very soon that either you thought you shot instinctive, but you actually shoot split vision, or you actually shoot gap, or you may actually, you know, you may actually aim more than you think you do. The only thing that, you know, stationary target, I take more time. I shoot a lot faster at live animals because they move. You know, even if you stop an animal, like if deer's coming out in front of you, you go meh, like that deer might run in 5 seconds. So you've got 5 seconds to make that shot. I don't have time to set my feet, grab my hook, step out here. It's just whenever I'm shooting at this target, I have more time, so my subconscious isn't trying to make me hurry. In the moment of adrenaline rush, as an animal's there or whatever, your subconscious brain will tell you that you need to make that shot quicker. So I do the same thing, I just do it quicker. And that's how you know you're actually shooting subconsciously or you're shooting instinctively. But that's what instinctive archery is. That's how to do it. Again, if you want to learn about the point, I went over pointing, like pointing and feeling the point of the bow. But other than that, your moment that you know to release is whenever you're pointing that arrow at that bow, or you're pointing the bow at the target. You know that whenever you're pointing that bow at the target, you will feel it. Your subconscious will send the signal to your fingers right then to let go. If you're consciously making that decision or you're pulling through a clicker or something, you purposefully aimed and then went into your clicker. So you're shooting split or you're shooting gap. I hope you kind of understand more of what instinctive archery is now. And yeah, for those of you who want to go shoot it, good luck. It takes a lot of practice. You're not going to be good at it overnight. You know, you might catch on to it quicker than others. But, you know, when I first started shooting, you know, whenever I was a kid, I just pulled the bow back and let it go. As I got older, I aimed. The first years I actually shot a recurve, I aimed it. And then I figured out over time that I didn't like it, so I switched to instinctive. I developed horrible target panic because of trying to establish aim. So to beat the target panic, I went to instinctive and just put the time in. My advice to you is to shoot at least 1 arrow a day. Don't matter if it's 5 yards or 50, just shoot 1 arrow a day. Shoot it in the house, find you something, shoot in the house. If you have a safe spot, shoot in the house, shoot in the garage. You know, set a target out right outside the front door. On your way to work, grab your bow, shoot 1 arrow into it. You can grab the arrow when you get home. Just shoot 1 arrow a day, and that way you can keep that subconscious know of whenever you're pointed at the target. And that way, you know, you don't ever lose it. You know, I didn't shoot for 3 months because I've been turkey hunting and working, so I didn't shoot for 3 months, and I've got to get back in the rhythm of it. I'm not shooting, you know, as great as I was before because I haven't been practiced. I have to regain that instinct. So that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you kind of learned what instinctive is and more of what instinctive is. And yeah, other than that, thank you guys for watching. Thank the Lord for a beautiful day. And yeah, y'all keep feeling spirit. Be in tune for more videos.